People are telling you that YouTube is on easy mode, and they're telling you that you need to create a YouTube channel and build this business and quit your job. But all of these gurus that are telling you this are lying, and I actually have the data to back it up. Who am I? My name is Dre Sean. I've been an internet marketer for the last 10 years. I've spent over 500 hours making YouTube videos. You can actually go look all the way back and see how many videos I have. And some of the videos that I made in the past are unlisted. I've made over 300 videos on YouTube for sure. And 5 years ago in 2020, I launched a product on YouTube that was able to make me $70,000 in the first month of me launching that product. So I feel like I know enough about selling products on YouTube and how they work. And I recently got back into the game, and I got back into the game because I saw all of these gurus saying that it's super easy. And the thing is that you can make it work, but there are a lot of nuances that you have to understand. And you also have to realize that these guys are just trying to sell you anything. So I want to basically break this down step by step and systematically help you understand how to actually win on YouTube by recognizing the lies and the mistakes that people are telling you. And this is not going to be the same generic advice that you hear from all these people, like create a thumbnail, put some keywords in your title, add some keywords in your description. It's not going to be anything like that. I'm really going to break this down from a fundamental standpoint. Now, if you see me looking down through the course of the video, it's because I have notes in front of me. I'm not a YouTuber. I mean, I went down that path of trying to be a YouTuber a long time ago, and you know, for me, I just don't want to sit here and try to pretend like I'm talking to the camera and all this other stuff when, you know, I'm reading a script. I don't like reading scripts, so I'd rather just write down my notes and then talk to the camera. So that's what I'm going to do. So, again, the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to show you the issues that I've found that the gurus have been saying that works. Or, like, I want to show you the issues and the flaws in the logic of what people are saying. That's why I'm creating this video. So I've been following a whole bunch of people on YouTube recently that have been talking about this topic of growing on YouTube and building a business with YouTube. And I think the first thing that people need to understand is that YouTube in of itself is not a business, it's a marketing channel. And when you look at YouTube as a marketing channel, you start to realize that this is not the only platform that you should be posting on. You should be posting on a multitude of different platforms, all that have your ideal audience, okay? And when you get on those platforms and you post on those platforms, you'll be able to get the attention of those people. Now, the reason why people usually tell you to focus on one platform is because they look at it as you need to put in a lot of effort into that one platform. And the thing is that, you know, I agree, but at the same time, there's a way to systematically approach being able to post on multiple platforms and get the same result. So that's the first thing that you need to know, right? So the thing that I often see that no YouTuber talks about is KPIs. Now, when you're trying to grow a traditional business, let's say you're trying to grow a service-based business, you have to really know what your KPIs are, because if you don't know what your KPIs just stand for key performance indicators, if you don't know what that means. But if you don't know what your KPIs are, you have no idea what to track. You have no idea what's going to get you success, and you're just doing a whole bunch of things that's probably not moving the needle. The reason why, again, you need this stuff is to track your progress. And if you can't track your progress, then it's like you're basically, it's going to be hard for anything to work, honestly. You need to track your progress. And the KPIs that I think are the most important when it comes to trying to grow on YouTube is not the same KPIs that everybody's telling you about. It's not looking at your analytics and just seeing like how long people watched your video. That doesn't matter, because there's nuances to that. I have some videos that I've created that have 2-minute watch times and they're like 10 minutes long, but people went from that video to an offer that I had and then ultimately ended up working with me or purchasing something from me. And then I also have videos where it's like the video is super short and people only watch like 20 seconds of the video and then they just click off because they just didn't enjoy the video. And they didn't come purchase anything from me or try to work with me in any capacity, right? And so looking at your watch time doesn't tell you anything about success for your business. Yes, it helps you with understanding your video, but at the end of the day, if you're doing this to make a business, you need to understand what's going to work to get you business results, right? So The KPIs you should be looking at that nobody is talking about is your average click-through rate from your videos to your landing page. So if you have a landing page, and honestly, it shouldn't even be like an offer. It should be, if you're going to send people from YouTube to a landing page, you have to realize that majority of the people that are going to watch you that you want to convert over is not just your existing audience, but it's also people who have never heard of you before, because that's how you get a whole bunch of leads off of YouTube, right? So if you want to get these people to convert, then you shouldn't send them to a paid offer, because if you're sending them to a paid offer and they don't have any idea who you are, it's going to startle them and they're going to automatically assume that you're a scammer. So you should send people to a newsletter subscription sign up, because on there you can provide actual true value, that they will see the value of what you're talking about, and then hopefully if they vibe with what you have to say and they want the transformation that you can provide them with, they will end up purchasing from you. The main goal is to always focus on the transformation that you can get these people. If you focus on the transformation that you can get these people, they'll feel more connected to you and again ultimately buy from you, right? So you have to know your click-through rate to your landing page. Then you have to also know your average conversion rate on your landing page, because at the end of the day, none of this stuff matters if you don't know how many conversions you're going to get from your videos, and ultimately, like, click-through rate from your video to your landing page. You have to track all this stuff. If you don't know how to track this stuff, I recommend using Google Analytics, and you can set up some type of tracking for this. Use a landing page builder like Card that allows you to integrate Google Analytics, and it's very simple. You just look at your referral traffic, and you'll be able to track this pretty easily, right? And then you also want to know your view count in your niche. So I know, for example, that on average, my YouTube channel gets 1,800 views, like 1,850, right? And so I know, like, even if I make a whole bunch of videos, or I have one video that's an outlier that it performs well, super well, I know that on average, I'm going to end up with about 1,850 views. And so why is all this important? Because you need to understand your view count. You need to be able to times your view count by your click-through rate, and you need to be able to times your click-through, the number of, the people that click over to your landing page by your average landing page conversion rate. So basically what I did is I took the averages of all of these numbers. Now it's going to be different depending on what industry you're in. So you should track that for yourself and get the numbers yourself as you're experimenting or testing this. But I'm just going to give you some averages so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. And then I'm also going to get into like products and stuff like that, because people are saying you can succeed with low ticket products. And the truth is that if you're trying to replace a full-time income, like if you're trying to make a YouTube a full-time income with selling stuff, you're not going to make a full-time income selling low ticket products. It's just not going to work. So the thing is that, okay, so let's say you have an average view count of 12,000 people that come to your videos, right? And of those 12,000 people, your click-through rate is 2%. So I think that puts us, so what you would do, the math that you would do here is you would times your view count times your click-through rate to the landing page. So if your click-through rate is 2%, I believe that's going to leave you with like, 260 viewers, or 240. I did the math earlier, but you can do the math and fact check it or whatever. But let's say, you have 12,000 people. First off, 12,000 people a month is a lot of people, right? So you got that times your click-through rate. That's leaving you at about 260. Now, let's say your average conversion rate. So of those 260 people that come to your landing page, you have a 2.5 conversion rate. You're looking at anywhere between you're looking at 6 leads a month from 12,000 views, right? So let's say, based off of those numbers, if you have a product, you also have to know your close rate as well, when you're selling. But let's say you have a product that costs $200. Now, assuming you're able to convert all of these people, right? That's $200 times 6. That's $1,200 that you're going to make. Now, $1,200 is a good supplementary income, but that's not a lot of money it's not supplementary income. It's a good, it's a good, supplementary, additional income, but it's not enough to replace a full-time income if you work at a job, for example, right? So $200 with 6 products, with 6 people, that's also assuming you close all 6 of those people. Let's say you have a 50% close rate. If your close rate, because on average I think it's like 15%, but let's just say even if 50, right? Your close rate at 50%, that's only gonna allow you to make $600 a month. Now $600 a month is extra money where you can make money and whatever the case may be, but that's not life-changing income, right? Now let's say, for example, you sell a product that's $2,500. If you even close 50% of $2,500, right, you end up with $7,500. That's a way more sustainable income. And if you think about it, it's way easier to get it's way easier to get 3 people to say yes than it is to get 6 people to say yes. So your chances are even higher. So technically, the higher your product is, as far as pricing, the higher chance you have of succeeding, because it's easier to get less people to say yes, and also you make a good income. Now here's the issue though. If you just stop at selling a product that costs $2,500 and you only make $2,500 for the month, well, next month when you're done working with these people, you're going to be scrambling to try to make this money again. So you need a product that's going to be ongoing, right? Something that's going to basically that these people need to pay you in order for you to do. This is why right now I would say if you want to succeed, you should honestly do a coaching type of business, or like a service-based business where you're actually handling the work for them, right? So you should either do done for you or done with you. But I wouldn't. But like do it yourself. That's free. Like you should just give that away for free, in my opinion. Or as a that should be like supplemental with buying a done with you service or a done for you service, right? Now you need something that's going to be recurring. You want to make this money ongoing because again, you're trying to replace your salary. So if you want to replace your salary, what you then need even more than this is a recurring service that you can sell. So think Google Ads, think project management, think SEO, something that's recurring. Once you get a recurring service and you make content on YouTube and you get you don't even need a whole bunch of views in order to get enough people to close. But like every single time you make a sale, if it's recurring, let's say you get just 1 lead a month, or like you get 2 leads a month and you're able to close 1. And let's say that happens recurring. If you look at, that growth over a span of time, you'll be able to replace your salary easily. And if you do a good job for these people, they'll refer you to other people. And because your service is recurring, it works fine, right? Like it just works. Like it just continues to stack. And now you have these people referring you to other people and this person referring you to this other person and so on and so forth. Or you need a super high one-off service like web design. You can charge $10,000 for a website and you can tell them to pay in installments. And that can be your income for the whole quarter, right? And that can be the only thing that you decide to work on, right? So like, you need to understand the math. If you want this stuff to work for you, you have to realize that like it's going to be super hard to sell low ticket products if you don't have a massive following. The only people who can do that are the people with massive followings, because YouTube just favors their channel. And even if you're a smaller channel that sometimes you have some videos that just perform really well, still you like it. It's just hard overall. So I look at all of these YouTubers that's saying, you need to make this much, you need to do this, you need to do that. And now I'm assessing everything and I'm like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. Like everything that they're saying makes no sense if you don't know these numbers and you don't know the math and you don't know it based off of your industry. So if you need help, if you're trying to do this and you need help with this, hit me up, we can talk. But moral of the story is, if you want to win and you want to make a sustainable living from YouTube, you have to sell high ticket recurring products if you want an easy life. And yeah, you have to just focus on that. Like seriously. And just do a good job and then use the people that you're working with to give you a testimonial for what you're doing and help them get results. And that's it, you know. And that's the end of this video. So thanks for watching. And I'll see you next one. Peace.